Hello everyone, my name is BlownTyre, and today I would like to talk to you about my track Pista de las colinas. So that translates as track of the hills, and you will see why during this video. This is a track showcase just to show what my track is about, what features there are, and yeah, it's just basic showcase. So before we start, I just want to show this track as a pit lane. As you can see here, there are a selection of spanners all the way down here, and the pit exit to prevent people from just coming out into the racing line and causing crashes. This has been designed so you can turn in and slightly accelerate before you go through a small chicane here and then onto the racetrack towards turn 1. This is after the start finish straight. This is for 30 pit, even though the starting grid is 30 players. This track is notoriously tight, as again you will see. This has been played on a stream which Bruffy has done, and I think he had 28 people in. It was total carnage. So really, I would advise having a maximum of 8 players that are really good, because it's the nature of the track. It's very tight and twisty. However, if you want to play more non-contact, it's highly recommended. So let's go from here. As you can see here, 30 player start grid. So go down towards turn 1. A standard 90 right. There are barriers to the left to prevent the pole from being knocked over, and a barrier here again to prevent this pole being knocked over. And as we go up, this is where the Pista de las colinas, track of the hills, comes into play. As you can see here, you've got a very high, very steep incline up into the sort of S-bends here. These are all difficult, all require tremendous throttle control. This track is a bit, this section here especially is bumpy. You just need to bear that in mind as you go up through the hills. It's a long sort of left-hander here. This is crucial because if you don't get the right drive, as you come up the hill, it's a very long sort of hill. You'll come up to checkpoint 9, which is a right-hander. This is one of the overtaking zones on the track. I would recommend anyway. It's a relatively straight entrance, a bit of a curve, does make braking a bit difficult, getting the car settled. It's a simple 90 right, effectively. You've got lights here. I'll talk about those lights later. Barriers here, and a barrier just to show that you're not meant to go down here. Following this, you've got another set of S-bends. This time though, it is very smooth. The track is very smooth. Near enough no bumps. Coming down into a hairpin. This again is very difficult to get slowed down because you're coming off a curve here, coming through a curve here, and you're having to brake somewhere around this area to get the car slowed down for this hairpin. This bit here is narrower than this bit, so bear that in mind. You'll be slowing the car down, but there's a curb here. However, I would not recommend touching this. The curb somehow seems to pull you in. It sort of acts like a gully. It sort of wants to pull you in. This is incredibly noticeable through the curves in a little short while. I just want to point that out prior. So as you can see here, this is a hairpin, good overtaking spot if you can get the overtake done relatively early. Going through here, barriers to prevent you just going straight on. Turn 14, it's a long left hand, well, not turn 14, checkpoint 14 is for a long left-hander. It is again bumpy. This curb, again, as I said earlier, avoid, especially here, it pulls you into the side. You don't want that to happen. Here is a fast curve, maybe a slight lift off is needed, depends on the car. I personally find it useful to sort of get maybe 2 wheels into this bit here. The slow, it slows down, allowing the car to sort of rotate on its axis a bit better, while you can keep the speed up quite high, so it's good. Going through checkpoint 16, checkpoint 17, checkpoint 18 is a very crucial corner, in my opinion. You've got to be able to get the car into the corner. You can, if you can run a bit wide because the track widens barriers are wider. These curbs are fine. You can run a bit wide, get a boost. Lights here. The lights are here to sort of. It's best played, as you can see, at a night track. The lights, I decided to put them in as sort of to make it much more feel like a sort of a Singapore style racetrack. However, it's not Singapore, so obviously it's up to you. However, the lights are there for just well, are way more noticeable at night than anywhere else. Checkpoint 19. This is a very difficult corner. Hooking your tyre into the curb may actually be a benefit, but oversteer is a possibility here. I find that the car does sometimes go loose, and also you can if you do overshoot, no need to worry, there is a path onto there. Checkpoint 20 and 21 is a long right-hander, which allows you need to be again careful of oversteer, a gap on the inside, but remember it's dirt, so it will slow you down. Coming down to checkpoint 22, if you're brave and if you're careful, this is an overtaking spot. Use the ledge on the inside to get the car slowed down. The little bump will help you turn the car in, so that's very good, so you can actually take a bit more speed, but bear in mind you have got rocks on the outside here. These are non-removable rocks, so unfortunately if I had the option I would remove them, but unfortunately they're not, so you're left with quite a tight exit. But no need to worry, because checkpoint 23 is a very fast right-hander. In a supercar such as a Zentorno, I tried this in, this is flat out if you get two wheels on the curb. Going through here, 24 and 25 are, this is flat in a supercar. This is, depending on the line, sometimes it's a lift, sometimes it's flat, it depends on your line, depends what car you're using. Now this is the most difficult section. It's one that very narrow. There is a gap for two cars. I would not advise overtaking on this bit unless you have tremendous sort of respect with the other person you're racing with, and both of you know properly how to race and not just ram each other off the track, because that's just stupid. Coming down to checkpoint 26, you have a series of S-bends. This can be taken flat out, however I would not recommend it in a race because of the nature of, well, a race and the fact that these are very tight, very twisty. Even though the track is 2 cars 1, you should never go through it because there'll be a monumental accident. Coming through checkpoint 27, you come through it into checkpoint 28. An overtake is possible if you can get an overtake done. Again, you need to be a very good racer to do so. There's an even more prominent sort of lip here, so you can get the car turned over this curb. Coming through checkpoint 29, a left-hander. This is flat. Coming to yet another tricky braking zone at checkpoint 30. You're coming in on a curve. It's a blind entry until sort of roughly where this hedge is. You won't sort of see the corner-ish. You brake, the barrier comes against the track, so you need to bear that in mind. It's actually quite a tight corner. You need to try and get as much of your car on that curb, inside curb, as possible. Don't run too wide because of the lamppost. Checkpoint 31 is just a long left. Coming into checkpoint 32, which is the final corner on the track, it is a right-hand hairpin. Again, get as much curb as possible. There are lights here to try and make this as sort of Singapore-esque as possible. Following checkpoint 32, you've got a long start-finish straight. Well, sort of a semi-long run to the start-finish line. So I'd like to thank you for viewing this track showcase video. If you do have any criticism of the track or criticism of the way I'm delivering this, feel free to put it down in the comments below. Please make it constructive. If you have any good comments about either this or my track, feel free to comment down below. If you're on Slack, remember to message me if you've got any concerns. Yeah, so my name's been BlownTyre, and I hope to see you out on the racetrack.